guys, it's me, Paloma, and today I'm going to be doing my favorite books of 2016. This video is about all the books that I read in 2016 and my top 10 favorite books. And so last year I made a video like this one with my favorite books of 2015. And so this year I'm doing another one of those videos with my favorite books of 2016. And so these are books that I read in 2016, and not all of these books were released in 2016. So this year I read a total of 45 books, which is a lot less than I read last year, but I'm growing older. I'm a high school student who has a job and I have a lot more responsibility, so I don't have that much time to read. And so I understand why I read less books this year, but I was kind of disappointed, but I read some amazing books. And so let's just get started with my top 10 books of 2016. Coming in at number 10 is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. So I read this book in November, which was not that long ago, and I absolutely fell in love with this book and the characters. This is the best contemporary book I read this year. I didn't read a lot of contemporary. I was really into fantasy this year. I read a lot of fantasy books, and so I really love this book a lot. That's why it's number 10 on my list. Now, number 9 on my list is Truth Wish by Susan Dennard. So I read this book all the way back in January, which is a long time ago, and it's a high fantasy book. I love fantasy, so I fell in love with this book. The characters, I love them. I can't wait for the second book called Wind Witch, and this book was amazing. There was so much action, so much suspense. The ending in this book with the cliffhanger, I want to know what happens next. And so I absolutely love this book, which is why it's number 9 on my list. One of the best fantasy books I've ever read in my life. So Truth Wish by Susan Dennard. Read it if you haven't, especially if you're into high fantasy. And now, number 8 on my list is The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan. Hidden Oracle is the first book in Rick Riordan's series, The Trials of Apollo, which is basically a spin-off of the Heroes of Olympus series. So first we have the Percy Jackson series, then we have the Heroes of Olympus, and now we have The Trials of Apollo. And although this was not one of my favorite books of Rick Riordan, I absolutely loved it because it's a new story in the Percy Jackson series, and I love Percy Jackson so much. That was a series that started all this crazy reading. It started my addiction to books, and so that's why the Rick Riordan and the Percy Jackson series holds a really special place in my heart, and I absolutely loved it. If you haven't read the Percy Jackson series, I really recommend reading them, and after that read the Heroes of Olympus, and then after that starts this book. And so I'm super excited because it's going to be a 5-book series, 5 more books taking place in the Percy Jackson world. How exciting is that? And so I can't wait for the next book to come out next year in May, and so this book's amazing. I absolutely love it. Number 7 on my list is Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. This is the second book in the Red Queen series. I read this book in February when it came out, and I loved it so much. The Red Queen series is one of my favorite series of all time. It's kind of like a dystopian. It's a dystopian book, and so this book was amazing. And I can't wait for the third book to come out in the series. King's Cage comes out February, and so I loved this book a lot. I kind of when I first started reading this book, it was a year since I read Red Queen, so I kind of didn't remember most of the things and most of the characters. I was kind of confused for a little bit because I'm like, who are you? I don't want to read. But then after a while, I caught up and things started coming back to my memory. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. And so, yeah. And the covers, I love these covers. These covers are amazing. The crown, all the blood dripping down, the cover is just amazing. And so, super glad I read this book. One of my favorites. That's why it's number 7 on my list. Number 6 on my list is a book with one of the most beautiful covers ever, and that book is Passenger by Alexander Bracken. Passenger I love this book. I remember I ordered this book when it came out. I actually pre-ordered it, and so this book was like one of the first books I read this year. And so like I love this book. The cover is amazing, and I can't wait for the next book to come out. And then the like the ending of this book. Oh, the cliffhangers! I hate cliffhangers, but I love them so much. And so this book was amazing. I fell in love with it, and ooh, oh, look, I have a little tab right here. I wonder what I have. Oh, my favorite quote in the whole book. You cannot fathom the distance I would travel. Now, like quotes. I don't know why I fell in love with that quote. And so this journey is only the beginning. It is only the beginning of this amazing series by Alexander Bracken. And so I'm so glad I read this book this year, and I just can't wait to continue reading on because this series is just gonna go above and beyond everything. The fifth book in this list of favorites is The Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan, the second book in the Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard series, and I love this book so much. You don't know how much I loved it. I enjoyed it way better than the first book in the series. The diversity in the book, that's basically what I love the most. This book is just so diverse with characters that I just absolutely fell in love with. So that's why this is number 5 on my list. Number 4 is Secretary Tyler Bardino. This book is the best book ever. I loved it. I can't wait to read the sequel, Crooked Kingdom. I have that book. I haven't read it yet. I have been meaning to do a book talk on this book for the longest time, but I just haven't had time. Yeah. But this book is amazing. The cast of characters in this book, they are my babies. I love them. Like the ending, the cliffhanger, another cliffhanger. And so I love this book. That's why it's number 4 on this list. One of the best books I read this year. I read this in October, and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I couldn't put it down once I started. Actually, it was pretty slow at the beginning, but after a while, I really loved it. And this book was just amazing. And now we're down to our final 3 books, which are my top 3 books of this year. And so these 3 books were some of the best books I read this year, and some of them might be a little predictable, but a lot predictable, because these are 3 books by my favorite authors, and I absolutely love the series. And so I cannot, I had to choose these 3 books as my top 3 books of this year. So number 3 is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. Lady Midnight, look at this huge book. It's humongous. And the cover is beautiful. This book broke me so many ways. It's another great installment into the Shadowhunter War. Another great series. I can't wait for War of Shadows to come out. Like, this is the 3rd best book I read this year because it was just freaking amazing. Amazing. And the characters are amazing. My ships are like sinking in this book. They're sinking. The people I ship are not with the people they're supposed to go with. And so that's really bothering me. I read this book in March, and I have a book talk on this book, and I'll be linking it down below. And I'm just like, if you want to hear my rant, just go watch the book talk. This book was just freaking amazing. Number 2 on my list is Empire of Thorns by Sarah J. Maas, my favorite author in the whole world, my most favorite series ever. This book is number 7, number 2, number dos, because this book was freaking amazing. This book gave me so much hope, so much life, and then it broke me at the end. And I will have a book talk on this soon. Don't know when, but soon. I'm gonna be honest, it's not my favorite book in the whole series, but it's pretty close. You know, my favorite. The cover is amazing. Aelin is amazing. The characters are amazing. This book was just a freaking amazing. And I cannot. I just can't wait for the last installment in the series coming out on the 17th. I'm gonna cry. I'm honestly gonna cry. And now for the number 1 book that I read this year. Number 1, the best book I read this year was, of course, A Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Look how big this is. Look how beautiful this is. Read it if you haven't read it yet. This book was amazing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, this book just gave me so many feels. So many feels. I was dead at the end. I died at the end. My thoughts on the characters, they switched. They just, oh, you don't know how many characters made me want to punch them. I wanted to punch so many characters in this book, so many, and I fell in love with a bunch of new characters and old ones too. You know who I mean. And the ending literally just killed me. So that is why this is my #1 book of this year. This book was just amazing. I couldn't stop once I started, and once it ended, I was in tears, I was crying, I was a mess, and the feels got me. And this book is amazing. I love it, which is why it's my #1 book. And I can't wait for the third book, Court of Wings and Ruin. What does that even mean? Oh my god, I'm just so excited for the book because I just want more. I know what's gonna happen between the characters, between Feyre, Talmud, Rhysand, and all the other characters in this freaking amazing book. I love it. I love this book. The book is amazing. Sarah J. Maas, best author out there. I just love her work, her books, and just all amazing. And so those were my top 10 books of 2016. All these books are just amazing. I absolutely love them. Comment down below which were your favorite books of 2016. I'm pretty sure you guys read a bunch of amazing books. And so next year for 2017, I hope to read at least 50 books. I did 45 this year. I want to do 5 more next year. Hopefully I'll have time to read all those books. Hopefully I have the money to buy more books. And so, yeah. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Paloma from Paloma, and until next time, bye!